Hello and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. I'm Jade, and I made a mistake last episode. If y'all want to leave a comment on this video, y'all can tell me what to name the fishing village, because it still needs a name. Yeah, so last episode I called upon the collective and creative mind of people who leave comments on my videos to come up with a name for the village that we've built here in our world. And there was one comment that got the most upvotes. It's actually the most upvoted comment on the channel as of right now. Naming the village, this comment was from Alan W. He came up with just one of the most amazing and most creative, clever names for the village that anyone could ever think of. And of course, it got the very most upvotes out of everyone. So I think it's what we have to name the village. So let's find out what we're going to name it here. Yeah, but thank you, Alan W., for leaving the name suggestion for the village here. And thanks everyone else who left comments on the videos telling us, like, what to put inside of these houses. We'll definitely jump into that today. But for the name, I don't know. It might grow on me. We're definitely not going to pronounce it Fishyville. It might have to be, like, Fishaville or something similar to that. But here early in the world, it's a great chance for anyone who's watching to, take part in creating the world. And I think it's something that I want to continue to do as we build here is if you have any ideas, just leave them in the comments, and we'll see if I can include it here in the world. So it's kind of a project that we're all working on together instead of just me here in my room alone. But today, we're definitely going to work some more on the fishing village, but I took time in between episodes to dig out this big room here. We're going to take some of the villagers that we have trapped in their houses down there. We're going to bring them up this hill, put them in here. We're going to try to get as many as possible, and then we're going to set up a villager trading hall in today's episode so we can go ahead and start getting our diamond gear together. So let's get started. I can explain myself. So I was trying to get the iron golem out of the villager breeding area because he kept getting in the way. And speaking of getting in the way, I feel like it's these guys' nature to just stand right in front of you. It's almost like they want to get hit, so then they can absolutely kill you in 2 shots and make you lose 34 levels. But that little setback aside, we were able to fill out all of the beds with villagers, which I definitely think is enough for us to get started here. Now we just need to build the trading hall that they're going into. So what you want with a trading hall is to pack as many villagers in as possible. So it kind of limits what you can do when you're building. It's kind of like you got a column, and then you got a villager, and then you got a column, and then you got a villager, and then a column, and then like all the way down the line. That's pretty much the basic design for all villager farms. So we're kind of limited in that aspect. It's definitely going to be a hall. I'm thinking about making it go this way across and then kind of make a T shape coming this way. And down at this end, we'll have like a enchanting area with books and stuff. I'm growing sugarcane here at the start just because paper is one of their main trades. So I want to get a whole bunch of it. But yeah, let's start planning out how we're going to build this area here. This is going to be a spot in our world where we're going to spend a whole lot of time. And here in the early game, we don't have that many like fancy blocks to build out of, so keeping that in mind, that's another limitation that we have to work around. I think what I want with this area is in the lore of the world, it's kind of different because outside, up on the surface, we're definitely going for not medieval exactly, but definitely before electricity. That's for sure. But underground, we really can do anything. And I think when it comes to the lore of the world, I want to build off Minecraft's already existing lore. And there's a whole bunch of videos out there on YouTube talking about like Minecraft's lore, and how villagers are a part of it. And villagers give off experience, and most people have come to the agreement that experience is like the magic in this game. So keeping that in mind, I kind of want to make the villager trading hall a magical area for where maybe like a wizard or someone does his work. And I don't want to have it connected anyway to the outside world. So we're going to build a nether portal probably about right here in like the center of the T shape. And that's going to be how we get in and out of here. So you'll go into the nether and then you'll come out in the trading hall. And speaking about like magical blocks, I was thinking like what's the most magical block? And amethyst, as I was caving, I found some geodes. And amethyst, I noticed, makes a really like unique sound when you walk on it. So it's kind of like chimes as you walk along. So we're definitely making the floor out of this. I don't know, we might cover it up with carpets because this is kind of it's not really a good block to put all like together like this. So we might cover it up with carpets so we still get the sound when we're walking. And we may put it like hanging down from the ceiling a little bit. Like I said, we're limited in what we can do with the walls of this space. So I'm thinking we're going to use dark oak for the columns because it's, I think it blends well with purple. And we're going to use a bunch of purple in here because it's magic, and I feel like wizards and purple just kind of go together. But I guess I'm going to try to shape out just a small part of it here and then bring you guys back in, tell you about the decisions that I made, and then we can work on expanding it to a larger area. Okay, and we're back with a little bit of progress that we've made here at the future villager trading hall. Just cutting down some of the sugarcane that's grown up over time. I think one of the most satisfying things in the entire game is cutting down a patch of sugarcane when it gets to be like 3 high and just going through and spamming. It's something about the sound and all the items you hear picking up. It's just something about it's very satisfying. Another thing kind of goes with my theory earlier about these guys always wanting to pick a fight is these two love to stand inside of the sugarcane field here. So much so that I have to take every opportunity when they're not to come over and chop it down. Like it'll be fully grown and they'll be standing in here the entire time as it grows. It's almost like these guys want you to hit them. And one of these is the ones that killed me earlier. So we'll have to deal with them eventually. But this is the progress that we have. I know it doesn't look like much from the outside, but we'll always be viewing it from in here. And it's very purple. I hope it's not too purple. I know when you go into the nether, it's super dark on YouTube. And I don't want this to be as dark as the nether. There are a lot of lights in here, and there will be more as we keep building. But it's very purple. I just fully committed. Purple's not my favorite color, but I think it's a magical color. It definitely goes with the wizard theme. And I figured, why not commit to like one color in this area? So when you come in, it kind of gives a very distinct feel. We'll be spending a whole lot of time in here, so I do want it to look good. And since it's early in the series, we don't have that much materials to build it out of, or that many materials. So we can't make it like super huge. I think this here is a good size, so that way you don't have to, it doesn't take that long. Like if you're trading with a villager here, you don't have to run way, way far over there to deal with another villager, keeping it all kind of compact here. But this is where the villagers will be living. They'll be stuck in here for the rest of their lives. Obviously right in front in this spot here will be whatever workstation that they're assigned to. And then they're standing on a shroom light. I put a trap door here, and that's just in case any baby zombies come in, that they won't be able to run through and then jump through the one block here, because this trap door will be here. And I think we can also use the trap doors when we're trading. So like say we're trading with a villager and he locks out his trades for the day, he's done, we can close the trap door. So that way we know that we finished that one out and we can move on to the next. And then when a new day starts, we can come back through and open up all the trap doors. Obviously the signs here are for listing out all of the best trades. So we'll know each one. Like say this one over here is our mending guy. It'll have mending up here, and we can go over and trade with them, and we know. We left room in the back, so back here there'll be a mine cart track coming through where we can take the villagers from the breeding area over there, run them along the minecart track, and then just drop them off right into whatever space that they'll be spending the rest of eternity in. Kind of laid out a little bit more of the floor plan. So this is just going to be completely mirrored on the other side over there. So we'll have all those villagers over there and all those villagers over here. And then right here in the middle is where we're going to have our nether portal. So this is like where we'll come into this area and leave. We'll do that through the nether. This path here will lead down to an enchanting table down here. So where we'll be able to get the full 30 level enchants. Because we'll be doing a lot of enchanting and then adding books like mending, and if we have a silk touch book, we can add it on there and stuff like that. I'm thinking, as for where the villagers will go, I think that this path here will be for all the villagers outside of librarians. So we'll have like the armorers and the toolsmiths, and this is where we'll get the emeralds that we'll use to trade with the librarians, which will be along this path leading up to the enchanting table. So that's the layout. I wanted to bring you guys back in for the ceiling. Kind of just sprinkled in some amethyst blocks here, but we have a little bit more that we can add. We have these here, which come from the geodes themselves, and it grows off the like the one amethyst block that's special, and it grows them. So they can only be mined with silk touch. So we had to use our only silk touch tool in the series at the moment, which was this golden axe, and we pretty much used it all the way down to where it's almost broken now. But they come in various sizes, so we have a little bit of variety that we can add to the ceiling. I want to add them up here to kind of spice it up a little bit, but we have to be careful because, once we place them, the only way we can get them off is with that golden axe until we get the villagers up and running and we have a silk touch tool to use. So I'll probably put one here maybe. And I kind of want to have maybe a large one coming down here. And they're nice because you can put them on the inside of blocks like this sideways. You can put them going straight. Let's put a smaller one on this one. Okay. And another big one. I think the big ones look the best. But obviously seeing this now, we're going to need a lot more of these. Luckily, I know where the geodes are. They're right underneath here. There's one here, and then there's one a little bit over that direction. And I should be able to get back to them pretty easily, and they'll just continue to grow there, and we can mine them if we have a silk touch tool. But I definitely, like, just looking at this here, I kind of just feel like we should just come in here and spam as many as we can. Because they do look good. They're like any block that's not a normal block shape, like in a square, is really great for decoration. So these are kind of like grass, except we're putting them on the ceiling. And it definitely gives a little bit more shine than just the bland old purple. I think this will look a lot better once we get the full thing completed here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and bring you guys back in when it's all done. Alright, we're back and we got most of the trading hall completed here. We've copied this side over to that side. We've added a long hallway down the middle. And we've put our nether portal right here. So I haven't gone through inside of the nether and set up the portal on the other side. We'll definitely have to plan out our nether travel very meticulously by going in there, getting the coordinates of the overworld, dividing it by 8, and putting the portal in the nether exactly at that spot, just so we don't have all of our portals around here linking up together. But we can go ahead and light this for the look and the aesthetic. I think these purple particles are perfect for this area here, since we've got all the purple. I wish we could get these particles just going like everywhere. I don't know how we would do that though, just like outside of just having nether portals hidden behind the walls. But this side's very similar. I added chests everywhere that I could because I figure we're going to need a lot of storage in this area, and we'll go down this main hall here down to where we're going to have our enchanting set up. So put a lot of storage down here, and we'll bring over everything that we need to trade with the villagers and keep it in here. It's not going to be our main storage room, but it definitely needs a lot of materials in one area here, so we can easily trade them with all of the villagers. We can go ahead and make our first enchanting table in this world. It's a monumental moment using 2 of our diamonds. Hopefully we'll have a lot more diamonds in the future, but right now we only have like 14. But here it is, our first enchanting table, and it's going to go right here on the shroom light. And this should give us level 30 enchants. We could be enchanting right now if only the iron golems didn't kill us. Well, we just continued the roof, or the ceiling in through here. We still have to go through and mine a ton more of these from the from the geodes, so we can put them on the ceiling. I put doors on each side, so we got our sugarcane farm back here, and then over here where we can get through to all the villagers. And it's really loud back here. We'll be able to hear them. It's always going to be loud here in this trading hall. We'll be hearing all the villagers do their huh. And then also they spawn cats, so cats are going to be everywhere. That we'll just have to learn to live with that. Next, we're going to go through, take all of the villagers out of there, and put each of them into one of these slots using minecart tracks. But I think before we do that, let's head over to the fishing village and see some work that I did over there between episodes. So there was a really nice comment left on the last episode, giving us a list of things to add to Fishaville to make it better. And one of those things on the list by this commenter was a bakery. And I thought that was a great idea, because right now, the people of Fishaville, all they have to eat is fish and beets. Why not have a shop where they could go in and buy bread to add to their meal? So between episodes, I looked through each of the buildings that we built last episode and tried to find which one looked like it would be the best bakery, and I couldn't find any, so I built a brand new building here down at the end of the street. It's very simple. Sticking with the theme of this area, all the buildings are kind of like starter bases. So this is real small. We added a chimney on the side made out of mud brick because it's a bakery. Uh, to get inspiration for the interior of this build, I did some studying on how bakeries worked in the past, and I found out some really cool stuff. Like back in medieval times, bakers had really strict laws against them. So if they were caught underselling a customer, like if a customer paid for a certain amount of loaves of bread and they found that they didn't get enough, they were severely punished. So they were so afraid of this that they would throw in just an extra loaf. And that's why it's called a baker's dozen. So instead of 12, they would give you 13. So that's how that came about, which I thought was cool. I found out how the whole process worked and everything, so I'll show you how it works here for this one. There's no mill in this area, so all the bread here would have to be like grinded down by hand, which would make it a very hot commodity here in this village, and probably one of the more expensive items that you could buy. So we come in here, we've got the place where you would do the grinding here. So someone would, take the wheat, put it in here, grind it down to make flour. And then over here is where we have the oven. And obviously got some bread sitting around. There's not much room in here to do too much, so it's very simple. And then got some wheat stored back here. And then upstairs there's a spot for the family. So maybe a husband and a wife, and then their kids can sleep on these mats over here, is what I'm imagining. And I put this thing here to act as like a window shade. We don't have too many detailed blocks here in the early game. Like, I wanted to use beehives, which is interesting. I didn't think I'd ever want to build a bee farm, but just in this village here, I've already found 2 uses for the bees. Like, I wanted to put honey or wax on that so they wouldn't completely oxidize. And then I wanted, beehives to act as like storage containers. So yeah, we're definitely going to have to build a bee farm eventually. But I did go ahead and actually make from hand with the wheat and the milk and the sugar some cakes. Couldn't wait until we got the villager trading done. I just made them now. So we'll put one over here, I think. Kind of fresh out the oven. And then one over here. And kind of call this little area in here done. So that's just the first, kind of adding life and story to the village. Thanks for whoever left that comment with all of the ideas. There were some other great ideas too that I'm definitely going to use as well. But this is the bakery, the first completed building outside of that one over there. This has been absolutely painstaking to get all of these guys in here. We've set up a system here to where we take them in a mine cart, bring them all the way up here. We got some powered rails to get them up this lift, and I've just been stopping at each one and dropping them in. And every time I go to move villagers in this game, I think I've done this so many times before, I'll be a master at it now. And every time, it's so frustrating. We're down to the very last spot that we need to fill right here. And this guy escaped. He escaped his minecart, so I put him in a boat. And then the boat has gotten caught in the minecart. And look what this guy does. This guy just starts levitating if you move. Look, he doesn't move any. You can't move him at all. The minecart is just constantly going this direction. Look at it. What is it? How? I'm going to get a bucket of lava out for this guy. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I'm calling it here. We got a lot accomplished. We built this trading hall, mostly completed. We still need to find the rest of these to put on the ceiling. That'll come in time. And then we still have this one spot to fill. I'll fill this in between episodes, and I'll get to trading with all of the villagers. So it's going to be a monumental task to come through and trade with each one. It's an absolute grind to do, but it's necessary. We'll have to go through each one, decide what they're going to be by putting down a workstation for them, and then we have to start trading with them. I'll probably put down a workstation, see what their first trade is. If I don't like it, I'll break the workstation, put it down again, see what that trade is, and do that until I find a good first trade for each of them. And then I'll lock it in and start trading and unlocking all of their trades. Eventually, I will bring in a zombie and probably set up a track around the back and have them zombify every one of these guys, and then I'll go through and heal every one of these guys, turning them back to villagers, so that'll lower their prices. And maybe in the future, if I ever want to do a bunch of trading, I'll get hero of the village and then go at it. But yeah, it'll be a lot of grind. Between episodes, we'll get that done. In the next episode, I want to focus on getting this connected up to the nether. So we have two nether portals at the moment. It's this one and the one over at the spawn hole area. I want to get them connected so we don't have to go like out on the surface to get there. We just go through here and we're in the spawn hole, go back. So that way we can transport all the iron that we have over here. I'll probably do that on the roof of the nether because I'm not a big fan of the nether. I think it's super dark and hard to traverse and very dangerous. So I'm going to try to get on the roof and then kind of set up our portal hub up there. And we may do that in the next episode. We'll also continue working on Fishaville. Now that it has an actual name, I'm going to try to finish it in the next episode by putting interiors in all of the houses and building a few more buildings just kind of to finish it out. But if you have any suggestions on any of that, or if I missed anything with this trading hall that's important, let me know in the comments below. But I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.